What up, you guys? Ras Satyat here in Singapore, and as always, thank you for joining me on the Night Owl podcast. This is a labor of love. It's been about 5 seasons now, thousands of episodes, and I still have things to talk about. Is that even possible? I don't even know. I probably have said the same thing a couple of hundred times, but the point being that there's always a different angle, there's always a different way to look at it, and this is one of those moments. I was watching a couple of interactions inside my house. Okay. And I realized that as much as we may complain about having to do something for somebody, the minute they decide they don't want you to do it, they'll do it for themselves. We get offended, don't we? How's that even possible? You don't want to do it in the first place, but the minute they ask somebody else to do it or they do it themselves, you take offense. Why is that? Because you've learned that this is one of those ways that they show closeness in a relationship. I'll give you an example. And you know it's always going to come back to my mom or my brother or something. There was a time where my mom and I did not get along, as in like we couldn't even we couldn't even look at each other, okay? But I knew that certain things were expected of me, and so trying to bridge the gap between this, isolation that she was putting me in, I would continue to try and do the things that I thought mattered to her, like do the laundry, pick up after the house, take care of my brother, stuff like that. And when she was really, really, really mad, she'd be like, no, don't touch this stuff. I'll do it myself. I don't need you. You piss me off. I'll do it my damn self. And when she would say those things, I would get highly offended because she was taking something away from me that made us close, or so I thought. As much as I would complain about, doing laundry or having to do so much work because I was the oldest, whatever, when she took things away from me, it was almost like she was taking a connection that we had. Let's say my mom and I had 25 connections, right? And one day I get pissed off and I say something that I really shouldn't have and she gets really, really hurt. Well, she takes 5 of those 20 connections from me because she's throwing a temper tantrum, she's being upset, she's showing me that she's upset, she's, guilt tripping me almost, she's trying to make me feel how upset she is, she's trying to prove a point, right? She takes away 5 of those 25 points, and guess what? I feel less connected to her, and I suddenly panic about, okay, well, does she still love me? Is she still gonna love me? Does she still want me around? Is she gonna get rid of me? Like, those panic symptoms pop up in my head. I don't even know if she knows that's what I thought, but this is my process, right? I would panic and I would think, oh my gosh, she's gonna take her love away from me. But it wasn't stuff that I really loved doing anyway. But I still felt bad. Fast forward into my relationships, there would be, certain things that I would do in my relationships with my ex-boyfriend, ex-fiance, ex-husband, all of those people. Things like, the way we made dinner or the way we interacted inside the house, right? If I had a routine that I did, this is the way I did things. I would feel like they were snubbing me almost. It's almost like I felt less connected to them. I felt the intimacy kind of drain away. And if I couldn't recoup that intimacy, if I couldn't get back that connection quickly, I start to panic and I start to act up. And I go through this, I'm angry at you, I'm mad at you, I'm angry at you, I'm mad at you, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I'm worried, I'm scared, I don't know what's going on, I'm mad at you, I hate you, I can't believe you would do this to me. And I go through this infinity loop of anger and sadness because suddenly I don't have that stability in that connection. And I don't know if you go through the same thing or not, but I tell you what, that is a scary place to be. Because as much as I don't want to be the slave to somebody else, right? I don't want to be the one that has to do everything because I'm capable and you feel like that's the way I should show you love and affection or whatever. Maybe quality time and acts of service is the way you expect to see love. When you take that away from me, that really breaks me apart. Now, it may not be the same for you. You may be like, oh, fine then, do it yourself. I don't need to do that stuff. But guess what? At some point, when you don't pick up that effort back, or you don't show that person that, hey, you know what? No, I don't want you to do it yourself. I love you. I want to be the one to do these things for you. I want to show you that I love you. It's not a big deal. I do it all the time. If you don't fight for that, they would get offended. Oh, so, you don't care about me anymore. These things you used to do for me now, I, wanted to show my temper. Like, is it worth it? How do I get that intimacy back? How do I get you to do those things that I love so much? Again, because now you're mad at me because I chose to show you that I was mad at you. Like, it's a catch-22, isn't it? It's a difficult, uncomfortable, awkward place to be. So how do you mend fences? How do you get back that feeling of intimacy? How do you get back those 5 pieces of connection that you suddenly lost? You have to go through conversation. You have to. You have to have a conversation. You have to tell them, hey, you know what? I'm sorry that this happened, and I'm sorry you decided to, react in this way, but please, I do love you. I do want to do these things for you, but this is the way I feel. How many of us are willing to have the awkward conversation? Because as it is, when somebody throws a temper tantrum, you're worried about, oh shit, I shouldn't have done this, so then they wouldn't be mad at me, because I just want things to go back to normal. I just want to go back to a place where things are predictable. I know what to expect. I know what's expected of me. I know what love is in this situation. But without those frictioned places, without those difficult conversations, how do you get closer? How do you get a chance to tell that person, hey, I don't really like doing these things, but I will because I love you? Is there a way we can change, evolve, get better, get stronger, get smarter? Weird, right? Strange. If you decide to show your temper and make sure that I feel your temper, what are the things that you're going to do to show me? Some people are going to use all the things you've told them about yourself and the things you've struggled with in your past. They're going to use that stuff against you. They're going to throw it back in your face because they want you to be hurting just like they are. They want you to see just how much you've affected them. Some of them are going to get very, very picky about how close you get to them. Are you allowed to touch them again? Are you allowed to speak to them again? Are you allowed to hug them again? Like, I'm a very physical person, and I would love nothing more than to hug people all day long, but I can't when you're angry because people don't think logically when they're feeling. So how do you mend those fences? You have to have the conversation. You have to cross that awkwardness. You have to get a little bit more uncomfortable before it gets better. Unless, of course, you just want to go back to the way things were and sweep everything under the rug and pretend it didn't happen in the first place because it was so awkward you just don't want to go to that place or go through it and past it. Something to consider, right? We like patterns. I hate to say it, we are habitual creatures. We like what we know. Comfort zone is where it's at. It's cool, it's chill, it's comfortable. But like I said, nothing grows closer or stronger in a comfort zone. Just because you're fit today doesn't mean that sitting on the couch for 3 weeks means you maintain that same amount of fit. You still got to keep working at it. And if you want to get fitter, you got to do more and more every day. You got to be consistent. Communication has to be consistent in a strong, healthy, thriving relationship. Otherwise, it's going to be words like, I put up with this person. I deal with them. I manage them. I can handle it. You don't want to handle nobody. You want to live with somebody. You want somebody as your witness to your life. That's the point of coupling up in the first place, right? You want people to share. You want inside jokes. You want commonalities and enough differences where you have something to talk about always. How do you get there? It's going to be through these awkward moments. It's going to be through a couple of temper tantrums and awkward conversations and difficult realizations. But the people who are worth it will stand by your side. And they're willing to figure it out with you because it's worth it to have a couple of difficult conversations. It's not worth losing you over. You hear what I'm saying? So, how would you handle it? That obligation to do something that you don't really want to do, but then suddenly they're upset and they take it away from you and, oh my God, you are offended. And if you don't fight for it back, they're offended. And how do you mend that? How do you get through that? Something to consider. Okay? I love you guys, and I will catch you again soon. But in the meantime, take good care of yourselves. All right, bye.